Hello, happy Monday. Hopefully you guys are all doing amazing and you had a great weekend. It was a beautiful weekend and I actually sat on my porch, which I usually don't do because I'm not an outdoor person, but with enough bug spray from my girl Meg Loomis, I was able to sit outside, enjoy life, and it was absolutely fabulous. Hopefully you guys also had a wonderful weekend and you guys got to enjoy going outside. I know in New Jersey the beaches are starting to get open and stuff, so the boardwalks are open, so hopefully you guys are supporting locally and enjoying yourselves a little bit during these trying times. I am very excited today to speak with Melissa. I have not seen Melissa since college, and for her to say yes, I was super excited because she's an actual journalist. She does this professionally for a living. So it was nice to have somebody who does this on a real professional level again, just like Steve Lavin. Oh, sorry, you guys know this is very real. And so Melissa, aka Missy, is a journalist and founder and host of the M Report. And so guys, I am working on doing kind of like a post segment of everything so that people can, if you guys really like the guests, you guys can reach out to them, follow them on Instagram, even though I do promote them with the promotional posters. If you guys want to get to know about what they're doing after the interviews, follow them. I definitely am working on that. I'm working on my website. So a lot of things, virtually happening on my end, but I will make sure I get to that. But I haven't seen Melissa since college, and she is older than me, and her major was journalism, and so she got to travel the world with study abroad, and she's just had a very interesting and incredible journey because she did found the M Report, which is something that we are going to find out in a little bit. And I wanted to know more about how she did it because when I started to speak my truth, this was just something that I wanted to get to know more people. I wanted to reach out and get a different perspective of journalism. I don't have anybody's guidelines to follow. I don't have rules. So there's not like a deadline that I have to hit. This is just me speaking my truth with other people that I know or want to know. And so for me, I really wanted to talk to Melissa about how journalism has changed and her experience being a woman of minority in that kind of genre, especially for somebody who wants to get into it later down the line. So I am excited about that. If you guys have any questions during the interview, just look at the bottom of your screen. Yes, right there. There's a little question mark with a square around it. So all you have to do is tag that, tap that, and ask the questions, and you guys will find out all the information that you want to on Melissa. And as soon as she joins, I'll add her. But I have noticed that a lot of people have questions for me, and I will have that segment. I think I definitely want to answer your questions and speak a little bit more about my truth and what I've been experiencing during this quarantine time. So I might just have like a little session of just like some coffee and or if it's later in the day, some beer or some wine, because y'all know how much I love beer and wine. But I think I might have one of those in one of these days. It might be like a weekend or something like that. But I hope you guys again are having a wonderful day. It is Monday, so I had a meeting with my coaches this morning, and we have one every Monday at 9:30 a.m. just to go over how the week went, how my workouts went, how training has been, because you guys know I am still training for the 2021 Olympics, and it's been a little bit of a lot for me. I definitely have made my way in a different, like I've made it work in a sense. I definitely don't have all the equipment that I need, and I haven't high jumped in over 7-8 weeks now, so it's a lot. It definitely is. And training is more mental for me now than it is physical. They open up the beaches, so I've been doing awesome workouts on the beach, and I definitely will be filming those very soon. I've been super lazy, and my husband is not the greatest at filming, but I'm teaching him. I'm teaching him slowly but surely. So I've been working out on the boardwalk, taking my runs, and getting things done as much as weight room possible. But I'm not really sure that I'm ready to jump necessarily. So starting in June, I start jumping again. And I'm actually really excited because it is something that I miss. And if you guys didn't know, I just posted something that I did for United Nations. I was tagged in, nominated, and I was jumping into, I had to move all my beds into my living room, and I moved my couch. My husband and I helped, and my husband helped me. And I jumped over a Swiffer pole, and I jumped into beds. And that's like the most that I've been able to high jump recently. So it's not ideal, but it got the job done. So I was really excited about that. But other than that, I mean, training has been going really well. And I've been telling people this a lot. And I've been interviewing different athletes. I think everybody needs to go at their own pace. And for the Olympians who are training for the 2021 Olympics, our mentality and our focus is so different. So we obviously are thinking about next summer's Olympics. So for everybody at home, I think it's really important that, of course, your health should be a main priority, but go at your own pace. Because I know a lot of these videos and stuff like that are just of like celebrities and celebrity trainers and stuff like that. So if you reach out to them on your own and say like, hey, I want to get introduced to working out, I think it's a great thing to get off your couch and start. But I don't think that every video that you watch or you see on your timeline should hinder you rather than motivate you, if you know what I mean. I think it's really important that people go at their own pace and enjoy the workout, if that makes sense. And so for me, I hope everyone is enjoying this time and adding to their resume in a sense of either starting a workout goal, doing things around their house, learning things through virtual media and all that kind of stuff, just bettering yourself and making sure that you guys are keeping yourselves as a number one priority and making sure that at the end of this, you come out stronger, smarter, and wiser. But Melissa is here, so we're going to add her and get started with her interview, which I'm very, very excited about, guys. I'm going to lower Ed Sheeran a little bit, get this all set and ready to go. Yeah, I started using my TV. Hey, girl!
Hey, girl! Oh, thank you. Wow. Audience applause. Thank y'all. Oh my gosh, I am not worthy, but
I know. Well, my audience is so lit. My audience is always ready to go.
I love it. Let me get tickets to the show. Wait,
I know. I got you, girl. Front row. Actually, no, you'll be a guest. You're getting the cozy. Somebody actually just created my logo for me, and yes, the one that they did. Thanks, girl. It was like a whole studio. It was like the couch and like the layout, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I need a couch. I need to make sure people are comfy on my show. So trust, it's coming, girl. It's slowly but surely coming.
Yes, with the purple hair logo.
Oh, I loved it. It was so me, and I know it's funny because I thought about like what other people would think, and it's like a cartoon, and my name is changed. Yeah. But it was so me, and it was just like, I really don't care what other people's opinions are. I love it. Oh. And eventually, if, I become this big household name, everyone's going to be like, oh, I love Priscilla's logo. So I didn't really ask anybody for their opinion. It was just like, here it is. You better like it.
Oh my gosh. You were so true to yourself. That's so solid that you found just the confidence to go with what you felt was good for your brand, for your logo. You felt good in your gut. That's the creative process, and I stand for that all the time.
Thank you so much. Getting your professional opinion is so lovely. It's like,
girl, I am honored and humbled. There's an H in there. That my opinion matters to some people. That's just
absolutely. Oh my goodness, because I've been following your journey, and I just told my husband, I was like, I'm interviewing a professional journalist. Like, she is an actual real, like, legit person, like, who does what I do, but on a normal, regular, professional level. And I'm very excited, and I wanted to have you on the show once I got better at interviewing. And I feel like people reach out and they're like, I want to be on your show. And I'm like, I'm trying to get better, boo-boo. I am trying to, so that I can be myself, but I wanted to make sure that my questions were sincere. My questions weren't like general and so generic. I go in behind the scenes, in depth about your stories and stuff like that. So I appreciate you coming on the show and being willing to be a part of this with me. I am so grateful, especially a woman with a minority. It's great to see that you're open and willing to support other women, which is huge.
Oh my gosh. Yes, mission statement right there. You just kind of read my mission statement, how I operate with my brands and how I try to operate in general. Women empower women, and especially women of color. And number one, like you just said things that were just really powerful in the sense as from a professional standpoint. It's just you practice, like you go into the fire and then that's how you get better. You just keep doing it. You see what works well for you. You really have a conversation. And so I don't know if you read the textbook, but it was basically just like, when you're interviewing someone, have questions in mind and then listen and then see how things go and then just continue to grow. And you've been doing that. Come on, how many episodes have you recorded? Okay.
I think you are 30.
Woo, okay. Yes. 30 episodes in, y'all. Like she's over here like live and learn, let me look good. Let me show y'all all my looks. Yes, and on camera look the scary.
I am trying. It is hard. I don't know how you do this every day, but girl, I am trying to go through my closet. I'm an athlete. That's all I have. Sports bras, hoodies, and some tights. I'm like, I have no clothes. Thank God it's just, today I have a hoodie because it's just like, so it just says line on it. I'm like, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Yes. All these looks, all my wigs that I'm going through, extensions. I'm learning how to braid out here, wrapping my hair. I'm like, oh Lord, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how you guys do. So, for you, do you feel like there's a certain, especially because you do it on a professional scale, do they allow you to show your personality with your looks, or do you have to kind of follow that?
Exactly. So and that is why you're on two levels. You kind of spoke about it on two levels. There's the fact that you're creating your own brand and you're setting your own pace to how you want it to look, and if you want to be professional. So you already setting the tone based on your own creative outlet, and that's why I love starting my own kind of creative thing. Even though I do this professionally, I enjoy having my own brand and being able to take control of how I look or how things feel, or, that really speaks to the essence of it. But girl, corporate America is corporate America. There's a specific standard, to how they want, especially women, to look. And so when I was, going around interviewing, and this was with, I won't say the name of the news organization, but I felt uncomfortable because dresses had to be a little extra tight, and the one that I brought was they wanted it to just be a certain right above the knee length. And so there are these standards, and there are women who feel comfortable, and you can see that's fine. And I see that across the board in broadcast. But in terms of my personality, when my digital outlet started doing more Facebook Lives, I was able to kind of go into my own personality, and that's professional, but also having a little bit of class, but also fun. I wore a lot of colors. I had a yellow dress when it was in the spring. Really, it really depends. And I think that's why I love, you're starting your own show. You get to have full control over it, and, but definitely the professional perspective helps.
Stinks. But that, I feel I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just feel that's so annoying in my head, because I understand ABC has this, their look, and NBC has their look and stuff like that. And I understand that men wear suits and that's about it, because it just comes that's it. That's all they have. Yeah. But especially for women, I feel and what makes me mad is that most people, this is so off topic, but they're like, oh, you should model. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not skinny enough to model. And they're like, what? The industry is changing. I'm like, I don't think the industry is changing as much as you think. So you have, yes, you have plus size models, but you have to look a certain way to be a plus size model. There's no in between. And for that, I just feel like the industry should be changing because journalism is changing. The way that we interview people are changing. And so for me, that's why when I did this, it was a leap of faith. And I knew that some people weren't going to like the wig one day or like my purple hair or like it. And for me, I was just like, but this is my show. Like, I want people to come on the show and feel relaxed and comfortable, grab a drink and just talk. And the outfit is, for my opinion, it should speak to your personality. You know what I mean? So do you feel like women, I'm going to say this for women, do you feel like women are comfortable in their professional wear, or it's just, I'm going to shut up because ABC told me or NBC told me, and this is what I signed up for in a sense? Or do you feel like more women should, because I mean, like, there's a big controversy about African-American women and their hair, and should they wear it natural and all that kind of stuff. Do you feel like they want to be in that box because that's professional, or do you think that they want to show a little bit more of their personality?
I definitely think that it's slowly progressing in that way. I think like the big networks, you know, the ABC, the CBS, the Fox News, CNN, they it really depends on their, you know, creative direction and how their brand is. But I think that they have to stick to the script because they're serving the wider shareholders. They're serving essentially, you know, a lot of cookie cutter kind of viewers. You know what I mean? Those at the top may not look like the people who are, you know, having to show their face or whatnot. And so that's why I feel like that's kind of interesting, because I feel I tend to gravitate towards more media outlets that are kind of not necessarily completely changing the realm of things, because we do like if you're going to talk about, you know, things like the pandemic, if you're going to talk about things like poverty, like you should kind of look a certain way to give off this impression. But things like Vice News, like they have their reporters out and they're having piercings, they got tattoos, and you can still trust it. So I think, for example, like one of my favorite sports broadcasters, she just started doing her natural hair, like on ESPN and things like that. And she felt like she had to also balance between like wearing her natural hair versus like how, you know, broadcast wants to show her be perceived. And so I think it's walking a fine line. If the big, like, you know, at the end of the day, if they're cutting your checks, they're like, whoa, you know, it is an opportunity for you to stand up for yourself too, or try to. But at the end of the day, it's like there have been times where I'm like, okay, I do have to close my mouth because I want to get fed. Yeah. But it's also, can I have a conversation? You know what I mean? And think about it, like one of the former editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue, I mean, she was a beautiful brown woman who had her hair out, and she was considered professional. At the end of the day, like, there's always going to be this, like, first boundary judgment zone of like who you are, what you look like before they go into your accolades or what you've done or what you've accomplished. They look at you and already, it's unfortunate, but that is, you know,
that's the industry.
Yes, it is.
In a sense. Okay. Well, I mean, I thank you so much. I mean, that was just literally just like an off topic. Like I was like, I want to get her opinion on this.
Yes, because you're growing your team.
How are you doing during all of this? Where are you? That's pretty much like the biggest question that I feel like I ask all my guests. I'm like, I know. Where are you?
Yeah, I love that because I do want to know how people are doing. I mean, just interaction, like seeing familiar faces means a lot for me during this time. I have essentially, you know, Facetiming Technology has been my lifeline to my family. We're spread all across the country. I'm still in New York. Because, you know, the pandemic comes and I still had to report and go out there, which was scary. But I had to, you know, be safe and things like that. But it has been, it's been treading, like trying to, you know, do what I came here to do, which is my job, but also like being at the end of the day, like no one's going to take care of me if I'm sick, you know, except myself. You know, I do have family who are not far in Long Island, and they are very helpful. And although I haven't seen them since we had to social distance, at the end of the day, it's like I have to look out for me. And
Of
so
course.
it's really been centering. It's really been just like trying to really, a lot of things have just kind of been revealed to me personally, professionally. Like, you know, God's been speaking in many different directions. I think this, I don't know if this is relevant for everybody, but there's different fruits that have, when I say fruits, of like revelations, things
Mm-hmm.
that have come to mind during this time that, you know, you would never gotten to understand or to see because you're always constantly going. You understand the New York grind. You're, girl, you know what I
Preach.
mean? The athlete doing your
Preach.
own thing.
Yes.
And it really was a time to pause and take inventory of a lot of things. And I think I've grown. I'm growing in like a different sense of where God's leading me for the next chapter. And so I'm enjoying this time. I really, it has been crazy, but I've been trying to just keep calm and, you know, keep my peace. So
Yeah. And that's amazing. And I love, love, love that. I think so many people are and I understand that everybody is in a different like area of their life, and I understand that.
yes,
And teacher, my husband's a teacher. I know it's very stressful for him. It's a lot
yes,
more work. There's a lot
yes,
going on. Nurses, doctors,
yes,
they're on the front line. Like I get
yeah,
journalists, like you guys still have to do your jobs, and I get that. But I think what happens is when people watch the media, they're automatically like negative. It's like, well, we can't go out and we can't do this,
yeah,
and we can't do that, and I don't have access to that. And for
yeah,
me, my whole life has gone completely different direction. I was supposed to retire. I wanted to go out and start my life after track. Like I wanted to reach out. I wanted to do
wow,
more volunteer work and get in touch with Antiguan young youth athletes. There was so much
wow,
going on. But I literally had to take a step back and said, okay, the Olympics are next summer. I need to adjust for that. I know it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I'm going to adjust. What can I do now that can better myself and better my resume? So I said, I'm going to start the show. And it has I never intended to start the show because I was like, it takes too much time, dedication. And I was just like, now I have the time. I have to create my own website. I guess I'm going to start coding. I guess I better start learning. You know what I mean? I updated my house, so I get to spend time with my husband. I get to be at my house that we pay this ginormous mortgage for.
Okay.
Like right? Like so. I feel like
yes.
I love that you're taking this time to listen to God and say, okay, what is now going to blossom from my life from this? And I think the best thing for everyone across the board, young and old, is that we can better ourselves. We can take the time to take a step back and say, okay, now I can listen and take a breath and find a little bit more about myself and what I am truly passionate about. You know what I mean? And so I love that you're also looking at the bright side of things, because it really is important. And I know that people want to, you can take the negative and just keep diving and just go in this spiral out of control. But for me, it was so much easier to look at the glass half full and just be like, you know what? I'm going to look at the positive and write down the positive, write down the great things that are happening. And I love that you are on that same page and on that same level, because I think it's really, really important. And again, things change in everyone's life. I doubt you were planning this to happen in your career. I doubt anyone was. I mean, you had already started the M Report. And in college, you traveled the world. There's so many things that you've done in your life. And for this, you could honestly just be like, oh my God, what are we going to do? But you made the way. And I love that. Can you tell me a little bit about how the M Report, and then how it's changed during this pandemic?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you just took me back to so many different feelings and so many different emotions. I was trying to find this one tweet I did on the M Report that was about it was I get inspiration from a lot of words. I don't know if that's like something from like Being Mary Jane, I mean, or just like the creator of that is Mara Brock-Akil. She's a Northwestern alum, and she just always writes notes, and I have post-it notes all over, just kind of like affirmation and things like that. And one of the inspirations that I tweeted about was like, if you're gonna do something, I'm botching up this quote, but it reminded me of what you were saying about, like, I ended up doing like a talk show. I never would have guessed that. And like, you took a leap of faith.
Yes.
It was something I'm gonna botch it up, but it was like, if you're gonna do something, you know, do it badly. And I was like, what? And it was just like, what do you mean? Like, as a perfectionist, what does that mean? That doesn't resonate with me. But it meant like, you're gonna just do it. Like, it's not gonna be perfect. You know, you're gonna continue to build. You're gonna be 30 episodes in. You're gonna be like, this is how I want to take the direction. But if you're so concerned about it has to be perfect, it has to be this like huge vision, which is important. But like, taking it down to just bring your creative baby to life and see where it takes you. Take that leap of faith. And for me, that was huge. That resonated a lot, because even before this time, like even in college, trying to, you know, when the big blog, it was like a big blog boom. One of my first straight out of college gigs was like writing for Nike women. I was a Nike field reporter, and so Nike would take us to like ESPN. I would meet like some Olympic athletes and interview them when they went to Nike Town, and like just all these different bands. It was life and culture. And so like, I was already like, my wheels were turning when in time when the big digital thing was happening. And it was just like, whoa, like, this is amazing. What if I start my own? Just like how you were like, I maybe should start my own website. Like, I was like, I'm gonna start my own website. I don't know what this means. And like, if I look back, and look, you're gonna look back at some of the posts you did, and you're like, ugh, like, what was I thinking? Like, I had to delete some posts from like 2009. I was like, ooh, like, I really tried, you know, and like, I got to give myself some effort. But it shows you just your growth. It shows you where you've progressed. It shows you just how far you've come. And so that was a continuous journey for me. Like, that was the first chapter with the M Report, and just continue to work and meet people, build your rapport. And then it was when I lived in Chicago in grad school in journalism. It was then that like I really took this leap of faith. Like, it was one of like the hardest points, one of the lowest points in my life, like blossomed this energy to start something like the M Report to a new level. I was like, I want to rebrand it. I want to have a logo. Like, I want to take my creative baby and just like grow with it. But that didn't come out of like some revelation. It was that whole thing of like writing down positive things. And I journaled forever. Like, anyone who knows me, like, I've journaled like since I was in high school, and I would write down these ideas. And one, actually, a St. John's colleague, she gave me this book, and it was like the prayer, the draw the circle, and it was about, you know, praying about things and then like bringing it into fruition by like circling it when you journal it. And I started doing that for like my creative project. Like, you like, it was a biblical reference, so it had to do with like, that's where the circle came into place. And so I started doing that, and then like slowly, like, you'll see, like, you started meeting people, you started connecting with people, and your brand and then there just came a point where I was like, I'm gonna launch it, I'm gonna do it. And since then, girl, like your creative baby, it's been one day, one step at a time. It has, and you connect with people, and you never know where it'll go. And like we started I had a huge event in 2016 in Houston that had to do with like hip hop, culture, art. Like, it was this whole it was a community event, and we connected with local Houston artists, and it was just really dope to be a parent, like to do that, curate that. But continuously, like, it has been like, it is your creative baby. Like, you always think about how can you progress it and things like that. And the pandemic has really allowed me to really hone in on right now, like, the M Report has a newsletter. It's doing more, it's going out looking at more contributors. And so I really enjoy the process. The pandemic has really slowed me down to really think about, okay, one day at a time, one step at a time, and where do you want, like, try your best to try to bring your vision to life. And so I've had like more contributors, and I'm really excited because there are other women, and I just want them. It could be men too. Look, I invite men too. I've had one of my friends back home, shout out to you, Lewis, who, you know, covered some like music record day, and he would go out and interview people, and it was just fun, you know. Like, the pandemic, it's definitely what I think it's allowed the M Report to do, is to connect with people who need to shine, and I'm just giving them a platform to help them progress them that way. So
that's great.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I'm so excited. I gotta give you another round of applause.
Oh, thank you, proud.
So I absolutely love it, and I think it's interesting because you never, in a sense, like, there's always going to be these times where it gets hard and
Yes.
you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know if you
Yes.
can go another step. And to
No.
just know that this has been going on, I mean, for you, over a decade.
Oof, girl, you're aging me. You're dating me. Yes.
And
Yes.
it's so wonderful to see that you're going through it and you're pushing through and you're being positive about it and you're sharing your experience. And I think, and you're giving people a platform. That's what's
Oh my
incredible.
gosh.
When you can give others a platform, it really is motivating. And I
Shout out
love
to you.
that. And I'm so excited. I mean, for the M report and your journey and stuff like that. I do see that we have a question, so I am going to.
Oh.
Hold on 1 second. It's a long one, so I'm gonna like zoom in.
Yeah, show us them eyelashes, girl. Show us them brows. Are you all getting a peek at this?
I'm trying, girl.
Look
It is
at
such.
this.
I am learning so many makeup techniques on this thing. I'm like, oh Lord. From the first
Yes.
one to now, I'm like, I definitely need primer. Primer is something that I need, boo boo. I do not have money for the Botox and all the other things. So
you don't
makeup,
need
do
it.
the magic. Do the
I
magic.
love it. Oh my
Okay,
God, it's beautiful.
Thank you, girl. You're so sweet.
Work.
Branding is key to small business. How can you stress to clients to build their brand, not some? Hold on, I gotta redo this.
All right, girl.
Oh no, because it's so small, and I don't understand how you can make it like
Bigger.
Bigger, yeah. Not some marketing companies trying to add some value. That's all I can read.
Okay.
So I guess how can you stress the clients to build their brand?
Yes,
and I guess
branding.
not just like little marketing tools. That's as much as I can get. I'm sorry, guys. I have not figured out how to make these questions bigger, but
yeah.
Yes.
Well, branding is key to small business. It's key to everything, really. Yes. Especially in this day and age. Every kind of company you see is trying to brand properly to stay alive.
Yes,
you know,
very true.
Every kind of, like, what are they doing? They're reaching out to influencers. They're reaching out to anybody who they can spend their marketing money. So how can you convince your clients to focus on their brand and not be some marketing company? Is that what it was?
I think so. I couldn't read the whole thing. I'm sorry. But I'm assuming that it's more like focus on the brand and what they want to put out rather than like being kind of, in a sense, for me, fake. Like just be like, oh, here we are, slap it everywhere. Build the brand.
Yes.
I guess that's the
yes.
question.
I think whoever this person is can take a note from not only definitely you and how you started off and the things that you've said. And from my experience, I'll say that the number one thing we always we're concerned about, or should be concerned about, is that we're true to ourselves. Like if Priscilla didn't want to have like purple hair, if she didn't want to have this thing, like because someone else said maybe purple's a little too much, you know what I mean, or whatever, like she wouldn't have done it. But she was like, I'm gonna stick true to who I am. I'm gonna stick true to my brand, and it's not gonna affect. People might perceive it where I need to whatever they want to perceive, but it's not going to affect your overall message on your brand. And I think what Priscilla has honed in on, and it's what anyone who's trying to build a brand and continue to build a brand, is that they are, number one, confident in who they are and what they're going to represent, but also focusing on their tribe. When I say tribe, it gives off like your people, like your key target consumers, like number one people who Priscilla knows she wants to talk to. That's who the number one people who Priscilla knows that are going to connect to her content. That's her tribe. She doesn't have to be fake for them. She doesn't have to do anything for them because you're true to your tribe. So number one, think about your tribe, because they're gonna always be the ones who are connecting to your content, but those are the ones you're speaking to. So like just like a public speaker would have to think about, who am I talking to? Or like when I have to write an article, it's like I always think about the audience, like who am I writing for? Like if I'm writing for like young people, I'm gonna sound different than if I'm writing for like older people. And so number one thing is knowing who your tribe is, and then knowing your mission statement. Like if you can boil down like who your target consumers are, or who your target people you're trying to market towards, that way you have a person in mind. And then when you have that person in mind, you can write a mission statement which is true to you and true to what you can do. And those two together, like for example, like building the M report, like I knew the type of person who I was trying to get it to, who would be interested in this content, and I'm going to stay true to that. And that's how I had to build and redo like a lot of the social media. And then thinking about my mission statement is like, I'm not going to go off and go left and do something that wouldn't like speak to me or speak to my people. Maybe someone else will. So they'll know off the bat if you're like being fake or doing too much. You know what I mean? And because you don't know who you're talking to, and then you don't know what you're trying to talk about. So think about those two things in my opinion.
I think that's very, very true. I think that's what marketing, in a sense, what happens is, because I mean, I'll speak my truth. When I got my publicist, it was, I would do whatever I wanted to for track meets. I would, purple hair, dark lips, like I didn't care at all.
We saw you, girl.
Like, thank you. And what the thing was, she was like, if you want to brand yourself better for companies, try softer lips, like lip color. And like, for me, in my head, I was just like, okay, like, it's not like that big of a change. It wasn't like she was just like, you know, take it all away and be like everybody else. And you're right. A lot of brands don't want to sponsor me because of my purple hair, because I wear dark lips. But I've made it this far. I'm 31 years old. I'm an Olympian. I train, I travel, I public speak. I have my own show. I'm doing it. I'm doing it on my own. And when it gets to that point where people are going to be like, oh, she just has purple hair, that's just who she is, then they'll accept me. And it's the same way. Tyra Banks was obviously, you know, a lot thinner, but she was always bigger for the models. When they want it, and when you have people that gravitate to that, you don't have to change for their perception. And I'm not going to change 100% for other people. Will I still wear dark lips? Absolutely. But again, as I get older, I'm like, okay, I can't really wear black lipstick all the time. But if I'm competing, I don't care. That's the picture you're going to get. And if you like it, then great. And if not, keep it moving. You can have somebody else. Because I want to represent brands that understand me and allow me to be me. So when I was younger, I always wanted to work for ABC, CBS, and now I'm like, I want to work for Vice. I want to work for Pixar. I want to work for George Lucas Films, because these are the people that the companies that are like, you come as you are. If you're talented, that's what's most important. What are you standing for? What is your brand? And I think that's really important, because people they'll change who they are. They'll change their mission statement according to who offers them the deal, in a sense. And if you, again, it's a path that everybody has to take. But for me, I need to be in line with, I need to be who I am. And there are people that are like, oh, Priscilla, you know, you can't, your show isn't gonna be as, you know, big as you want it to be. And I'm like, that's your perception and that's your opinion, but your words aren't going to put a cap on what I'm capable of, in a sense. So I look at it right now, and I see, like, and again, this is deeper, but I look at like the late night television shows, and in a sense, it's all white men. And then there's one Indian woman, like, I'm blanking on her name. It's like the Little Late Show with, I forget what her, I'm horrible at this, but I actually watch her a lot. So I'm like, wow, you have Jimmy Kimmel, you have Jimmy Fallon, you have Conan O'Brien, you have, and it's just men, and they're just, and I'm like, you know what? That's my niche. And I know, like, Wendy Williams and The Real, they're doing great. But I know that I am meant for the late night. I am not like this daytime kind of person. I'm a late night woman. And I know that that's my goal. And I could care less. I want to be able that people can say, because I saw Priscilla with purple hair, with dark lips, she's doing her own thing. I can do whatever I want to. Oh, you found her name. Thank you. My producer, aka my husband in the corner, he just sits there and he's so great.
Applause.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my husband. Thank you, baby. Lily Singh.
Oh,
it's like the late night. And I love it. And that's the only one. She's the only one. And I
And a
love you guys
lady and a
because
woman
what is
too.
it? Samantha B's late night?
Yeah, she's 10:30.
Oh, 10:30. Okay. But
Well,
that's
there's nothing.
political. That's something different. I do not get into
Yeah, that's
politics
true.
at all. That's something completely different.
Yeah,
But for me,
yeah.
I'm just like, I want to be a woman of color that is paving the way in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'll take the beatings, I'll take the no's, I'll take it all to literally 10,000 no's to get my one yes. And for me, I think that's really important. And I love that that's what you stand for. That's what you've been doing. You've obviously been doing it for a lot longer than I have because I was all over the place.
You start somewhere.
Oh my goodness. I started somewhere. And that was the thing.
Yes.
That was the hardest part.
It
So
is.
It really is. But you've taken so many of those leaps. You moved from Texas to New York. I don't care what anybody says. That's a huge leap. Like, that's a huge leap. I just went from New Jersey to New York. Like, I was just like, let me take this little quick trip on the turnpike.
Girl,
how
some people have not left.
Oh my goodness. How have you felt with all of these risks in a sense?
Mm-hmm.
How have you, because a lot of people, they need to take the risk and they're scared. Or they're just worried about the failure or what other people might think. How did you transcend from there, and how have you just been taking these leaps?
Girl, I think if you're so convicted, and if you truly believe, as cliche it is, in like the beauty of your dreams, and let them manifest, then it's not a risk, it's what you got to do. And I've been blessed to have like a really supportive family that, you know, coming from an immigrant family like that, they would say like, oh, you should stick to this. You should stick to the script. You'll be safe in this category. And none of us took that. We followed like, you know, our own passions. And I think, you know, again, bringing it back to the essence of me personally, it has been, you know, writing. I remember like it was like a senior in high school, and it was like writing down, we had those, you know, those write down your goals and your future goals, like your 10-year plan and your 5-year plan. And I would write, it was dumb. I look back at it, but I still have it. It's like, oh, by the time I'm 24, I'll be on ABC News. By the time I'm here at 25, I have my first kid. And it was just like, whoa, like, you know, but regardless, like, you have to take that first, but you have to say to yourself, what is it? You know, really take some time to hone in and be like, what are my dreams? And for me, being a person of faith, it's like, so where does God want to take me with this? And that has been a continuous journey. It was always like being driven, being passionate. I come from a you know, a strong family of strong women, and go-getters. And so like writing down that dream and that vision when I was young, and knowing that everybody knew, you know, knowing that myself and everybody knew around me, like the energy I was projecting was like, Melissa's going to New York. Like Melissa's going to follow her dreams. Melissa's going to go and, you know, work in journalism in the Big Apple. And so like everything was a risk, and there was many things that could be like, oh, why don't you just be complacent and stay? But it's that inner voice, that inner conviction that's like unstoppable. And I think that's definitely what I'm getting from you, Priscilla. It's just that like, I know who I am. I know who I'm trying to speak to. I'm going to get a lot of no's, but I'm going to get that one yes. Like how many success stories have that same type of storyline? And so for me, it was a lot of no's. It was girl, it was years of like the unpaid internships, but those still exist. You know, it was years of just network. Your network is your net worth. So like meeting people who would take you to the next level, and you'd learn, and you'd be like, should I take this? And it's like, why not? Like, you know what I mean? Like this you have to radiate that kind of energy. You have to be so convicted of and you know, about what you want to do with the gifts and the talents that you have, that doors will open. You know what I mean? And it's so cliche, but it's really true. Like survival mode, like you'll find ways to survive, and God will put the right people in your path. And so it's been it has been a journey of just learning, continuing to refine my dream, so that essentially like it has taken tools that allowed me to grow, but also it took different turns in that dream. And it was just like, you know, continue refining process of, you know, just go after it, and it may not be what you envision, but you're going to gain something from it. And so that's what I think that continuous like check in with yourself, like how Issa Rae kind of checks on herself and like raps herself in the mirror. Like for me, it's like I check in with myself, and when I look at my journals and I'm like reading, like, okay, I've come this far. This is what I set out I wanted to do. Remember when you didn't have A, B, and C, but look at you, you're over here in X, Y, Z. And so it's like that's just a personal conviction where it's like I gotta keep going. Like I gotta keep going for this girl or this young woman who is me, who is out here setting goals and setting dreams and falling back, taking 2 steps back, and then just continuing to go. And it's like, you can't teach that. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, I have respect for many different people who have different visions of success. And for me personally, and those who did take that leap of faith to go live somewhere else, you know, I studied abroad. I mean, just these opportunities that just, it opens your eyes to be not only like, I think God wants you to be the best version of yourself, and that's the only way you can serve other people. And that's why when I knew when I started Emaport, I didn't want it to be like Melissa, you know, .com. You know, I wanted it to be something that could serve as a platform for other people. And now it's just taken off to be like, I have Mommy Mondays with my, you know, with my younger friends who like has a child, and like I have people who are just contributing, but writing about their lives, and I'm trying to get more like international artists. It's just international artists who just, you know, especially like they're almost like independent. Like I want to put some shine on people who just wouldn't get it in the mainstream or need help getting the word out, because you'll see, you know, the people who will gravitate towards that, there's always people who are willing to take in like content and take in what you have to say, because there's so many voices. But like we said, if you tribe and your mission statement, like you cannot fail.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Melissa, thank you so much. Gotta give you a big You are absolutely amazing. I thank you so much just for opening up and speaking your truth and being so powerful and who you are. And I love the aura that you give off.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so blessed to have to know you. Thank God we went to college together.
Yes. Yes, I love this.
But I definitely loved it. I loved our conversation. I'm so glad we got to catch up. And now it's literally the time that all my guests look forward to, which is Ken's Corner. Yes, everybody loves Ken's Corner. We make sure I lift it all the way up. This is my husband Ken. This is Melissa.
Hi, Ken. I love y'all's wedding pictures.
Oh, thank you. It's all her.
Yeah,
I'm just standing there. I'm like the background. I'm the tree. It's okay. The camera's on you, baby. Fine.
Oh, she was killing it.
He's a teacher and he's a football coach, and so he likes to just ask like random questions because this is my husband. He's a very random person. So
I love this.
I have approved all of them, and it did take a long time. So,
I got a lot of vetoes.
A lot of
vetoes. Just hard nose. Not a chance.
So, honey, what is your question for Melissa?
Alrighty. So, say we have to go have a meeting with the aliens. Who is your American earthly representative to meet with the aliens?
Ooh, it would definitely be Barack Obama.
I was gonna say, I was like, I bet you whoever he asked this question for is gonna be Barack Obama.
It's too good. I mean, that's like my to represent America really well and to really know what these aliens want to do, and for him to be like courteous and nice. But then we could send someone up like Kevin Hart to be like to get the jokes too, because then he'll come back and be like, for it, like he'll have a whole stand up, he'll have a new stand up for us to tell us what happened when he met the aliens. I got you. Yeah.
I think Obama's a great one too. When I went over the questions last night, I was like, I would send Obama. He's very personable. He can see, you just want to know what their mission is. What is your mission? Exactly. And if they are trying to take over, I feel like he'd be a good person to try and negotiate and be like,
yes.
Oh my God. Let's sit down.
Yes.
I got you.
How about Michael Jordan? He already met aliens, no? Space
right?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, they still might be mad though. You know.
Yeah, they still might be mad because they lost.
I'll put more on Mountain there.
More on Mountain, yeah. That was true.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he knows what their biggest, obviously
Yes.
what their mission statement is.
Yes.
So you might want to take them both.
Yes.
I love that it's two black men. We're just
Yes.
like two black people up there. They know what to do. They know the real. They know how to communicate with people.
Exactly.
We got it.
So, two women, we might be like, it's a little dirty out here. My hormones are reacting. My eyelashes are peeling off.
We're gonna can we schedule this next week? Boo?
Yeah, next week. Yeah. Yes. We will have problems meeting aliens.
You absolutely right. I'm not the one. All right, thank you, honey. You're the best.
I love this segment. You guys are so inspiring. Yes. Who told you to have a husband segment?
I swear. Ken's Corner came to me, like, it came to him, and he was just like, I want to ask this question. I would have asked him, and I was like, you could come on the show and do, like, Ken's Corner. And he's the creative one. He gets, like, super out there, and he's just, like, and again, like, for me, I was a little nervous to start it, and he was just like, reach out to everybody. And I was like, well, he was like, reach out to everybody. And I was like, okay. So he, like, sits here, and he'll, like, write the questions. He'll get, like, different people that I should interview. And he was just like, you should interview Kevin Hart. You should go to, ask Oprah. And I was like, sweetie, they're so big. He's like, it won't hurt. The worst I can do is say no.
They know.
So I'm like, so he definitely is a great confidence booster. And it's something also that I want to get into is I do want to have a little bit of like a show just with him and I asking, like answering people's questions. We used to do it on like Facebook Live on Friday nights, and people just ask us questions just about being in an interracial marriage, because I know it's a lot of questions and we get a lot of different feedback from our relationship. So that's something that's in the works. So he'll be along a lot more for the ride.
Wow. Is it going to be a part of the show? You think?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Well, we have to talk about it. Yeah, we definitely have to talk about it, but it's something that he's open and honest about, and I'm very happy with that. And we definitely have two different perspectives. Yeah. And I definitely love that. And we're big in the country. And so I actually have a couple country artists. I've already interviewed them, and I have a big one coming up this Friday. And one of the guys, he was just like, you're taking on a big cultural difference here, like a lot. And for me, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely ready for it. I'm definitely up for it, because country music is by, like, from first glance, it's like racist and redneck and all this kind of stuff. And for me, I love country music, and that he got me into it. And it's a genre and that a lot of, African Americans don't know about. And so I think there are a lot more good in people in country music than bad. And I think it's shifted a lot. So there's a lot about him and I that we want to kind of just talk about and let people know and give people support if they need it. So that's definitely something that's coming on. So, but girl, I will definitely be watching your journey, watching your Mommy Mondays. I love moms. I love like mothers. I think they're so fabulous. So I definitely will support you, and I truly am. I truly appreciate you being on the show and just speaking with me and getting your perspective. And I absolutely love it. And I wish you nothing but success. And I definitely will keep you in my prayers and your journey in my prayers.
Thank you, Priscilla. I am honored, girl. You have amazing guests. I am just, that's great. They're wonderful. They're inspiring. I'm inspired by this entire interaction.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you need anything, girl, I'm here for you.
Yes.
I hope that once this social distancing is a thing of the past, we can get together and do like an in-person interview, and you can show me the ropes.
Bring back like 5 guests, and let's do some like athletic challenges.
Oh, I'm all about that, girl. You already know I'm about it. We can definitely make that happen. Absolutely. Now I'm about to write it down. Got a whole nother segment.
Speak it into fruition. It is key. It is key.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank
sweetie.
you.
Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Be safe, everyone. Bye.
Oh, thank you guys so much for joining in. I had such a great time. I literally have not spoken to Melissa in, I'm going to say over 8 to 10 years. Yeah. So it was great to catch up with her. I'm glad she's staying safe. Check out the M Report. And I promise I will put a link out to it. I don't know what my hair is doing. Sorry. Just doing whatever it wants to. But thank you guys so much. I am very, very excited. For tomorrow's segment, I have 2 guests that, again, I don't know. I've never met. I reached out to them and they said yes. And my first guest is Jessica Clark, who some of you guys know from, I guess, The Bachelor is, I guess, something like that. And I'm going to be honest with her. I don't watch The Bachelor. So this is completely about her journey, her entire network she owns. She's a co-owner of SweatNet, Nashville and Denver. So I'm excited she's a wellness advocate. So I'm excited to talk to her. And apparently her husband was on The Bachelor. So that's really cool as well. Or her boyfriend. I don't know. We'll figure that out tomorrow. And then Phil Costa is a former NFL player. And he, again, was in the spotlight because obviously he was in the NFL. He's an amazing player. Yes, he played for the Cowboys. And then he had a very public relationship with Hulk Hogan's daughter. And so I really wanted to get their perspectives on the misconception of their lives. You know what I mean? And so I really wanted to dive in, talk about what they're doing today. They're both successful business owners. And so I'm very excited to get to talk to them. Thank you guys for joining me to speak my truth, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.